Hello, guys. This is your boy Kofi with KO Sports Talk, and I want to introduce you to a new episode of the Main Event Podcast where we will be talking about the Chicago Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings. So, for today, as you guys know, my guest co host, Jonas Pitney, he couldn't be here today because he had to deal with some personal stuff, but he'll be here next week. And so today, guys, we're going to be discussing the Chicago Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings on this upcoming matchup for this Monday. As you know, the two teams have been going opposite directions. As you know, the Bears, they kind of started off hot, beginning of the season, started 3-2, and they went on that 5-game losing streak. And ever since then, they've just been going downhill. And the coaching staff, it seems like the coaching staff is going to be fired. And even possibly the front office, the general manager, Ryan Pace, is going to be fired. But the Bears do have some key promising players on that team that's going to be for the future, like Justin Fields, Darnell Mooney, Jalen Johnson, Roquan Smith. They have some promising pieces, but the Bears, they have a long, long way to go. Along with the Minnesota Vikings right now are 6-7, and they're trying to fight for a playoff spot, the final playoff spot. So for this Bears team, they're going to have their work cut out for them because the Minnesota Vikings, they've also been playing very well as of late. Even though the record doesn't really speak for itself, you have some key players that have been playing really well this season. Case in point, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, so far in the season, has 27 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. His passing yards is 3,569 so far this season. And some key players also is Justin Jefferson. He has also been one of the top players so far this season. Top 5 players so far this season in terms of yards. So far in a number of receptions, Justin Jefferson has 85 receptions so far this season. His yards is 1,288 yards, and his average catch per yard is 15.2 yards per game. And also Dalvin Cook as well has been playing very exceptionally well. His total yards is 970. The attempts is 198, and he's averaging 4.9 yards for the entire season. And also, Adam Thielen is also coming back, so that's also going to help. And not only that, Alexander Madison has also been a key contributor, even though he's been a backup for the Minnesota Vikings. He's been a key contributor to this team. Now for the Chicago Bears, I'm going to give 3 keys on how the Chicago Bears can beat the Minnesota Vikings for this upcoming Monday. So for the first key, in order for the Bears to beat the Minnesota Vikings, is that you got to get Justin Fields loose. What do I mean, Justin Fields loose? First off, in the past game against the Packers, you saw that the Bears were starting to run a little bit more play action in the first half. They started running the ball a lot more with David Montgomery, and they started getting the ball out more, rolling Justin Fields out to his receivers. Now, if you saw in the first half what was working, the Bears started to change up their game plan as soon as the second half started. They started dropping Justin Fields a lot back more. They started dropping him back a lot more. They weren't running a 5-man protection. They weren't running a max protect, especially with their rookie tackle, Tevin Jenkins. Tevin Jenkins was coming in for an injured Jason Peters, who injured his ankle. And granted, this kid is coming back from a back injury. And so as you would expect it from your rookie tackle, he had mixed reviews. You know, he gave up 2 sacks, had some costly penalties, especially that strip sack. That was kind of the backbreaker. But, I mean, what can you expect from your rookie tackle? That's an indictment on the head coaching. And so what the Bears need to do is that they need to help Justin Fields tailor a game plan to his skill set. They need to do more rollouts. They need to run more RPOs. And I know I'm kind of beating the horse's drum, but I mean, if the game plan is working, why would you go away from that? And that's what happened with the Bears. They went away from the game plan, and that's why the Packers were able to outscore the Bears 24-3. Key number 2, you got to get the ball to David Montgomery. Feed David Montgomery. David Montgomery has pretty much been an essential key part for this Bears team. Yeah, his stats don't say much. 608 yards. His attempts is 140, but his average is 4.2. Now, if he didn't get injured for those past 4 games, those past 4 or 5 games where he's injured, you probably have close to 1,000 yards. But, injuries happen in this game, and it's part of the key game. But like I said, you got to get David Montgomery at least 20 to 25 carries, maybe even 30. Now, I know with Minnesota Vikings, they're more of a running type of offense. I know that Mike Zimmer, he likes to give the ball out to Dalvin Cook because he's pretty much their main offense. But they run a lot of rollout the same way that the Bears are supposed to do. They run a lot of RPO. They run a lot of bootleg passes. That's because they also have a good running back in Dalvin Cook. And you see, when you have a good running back like Dalvin Cook, you see that you're able to open the offense up more. And so with the Bears, they need to do the same thing with David Montgomery. At first, in the first half, like I said with the Packers, they're giving them the ball out to him more. He had at least, I think, 10 to 11 carries the first half. And in the second half, they started just deviating away from it because the Bears just got too scared. They already knew that the Packers offense was a top-notch, high-powered offense. But the thing is, you can't get away from what your identity is. And your identity is mostly running the football, a run and gas type of offense. And the way you're going to be doing that is that you have to wear down Minnesota Vikings front seven by giving the ball out to David Montgomery. I cannot stress this out more. David Montgomery is one of your most vital pieces to your offense. And if you're not giving the ball out to David Montgomery more, your offense is going to fail. You're going to set up your quarterback, Justin Fields, to fail. If you keep dropping Justin Fields back to pass 30 or 40 times, he's going to get put on his butt multiple times. And especially with Minnesota Vikings front seven, they've been playing really, really well, even without Danielle Hunter. They have some key players that has been contributing. Anthony Barr, he's been a key contributor, and a sorts of other players. Another players, I can't remember his last name. It was Omi Bungiwe. He's had a pretty solid season so far. And you got to worry about players like that because Minnesota, they've been blitzing very hard. And when you're dropping back to pass on Justin Fields, they're going to blitz you hard. And they're going to blitz you very quick and in a hurry. And so the Bears, they need to get the ball early and often to David Montgomery if they ever have any type of chance in winning this game. Key number 3, you have to slow down Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson. Like I said, Minnesota Vikings offense is more predicated towards Dalvin Cook, but also the offense is also predicated to getting the ball out to Justin Jefferson. The Minnesota Vikings are going to try their best to get the ball open to Justin Jefferson. Like I said, with the Packers, they had Devontae Adams. You had Jalen Johnson doing very well with slowing down Devontae Adams. But when they started, when the second half started, they started scheming away Jalen Johnson from Devontae Adams and started putting him in the slot corner. And so the Bears, they're going to have to understand the game plan that Minnesota Vikings are going to do. If they see that Jalen Johnson is mirroring Justin Jefferson, they're going to have to allow Jalen Johnson to stick Justin Jefferson at all times. He's one of their top receivers, and he's made a name for himself since his rookie season. He could have won the offensive rookie of the year if it wasn't for Justin Herbert having that record-breaking season last season. But the Bears are going to have to find a way to slow down Justin Jefferson from getting the ball out to him more, because the Vikings are going to find a way to get the ball out to Justin Jefferson. Another thing, they also got to slow down Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook has been phenomenal this season, even though he's kind of dealt with some type of injuries. I mean, right now, like I said, he's averaging 978 yards. He's averaging 4.9 yards per attempt. And, I mean, the numbers is it doesn't say too much about how Dalvin Cook's production is. It should be more, at least over 1,000, because he's been a very, very, very vital piece to this offense. And case in point, against the Pittsburgh Steelers, he had over 208 yards because the Pittsburgh Steelers front seven, they had no answer. They had literally had no answer for him. And so the Bears, they're going to get Akeem Hicks back possibly, but who knows if he's going to be 100%. Sean Desai is going to have to figure out how to close the A gap and the B gap, because that's where most of his damage is caused, going through that A gap and through that B gap. And once he gets through that A gap and the B gap to the second level, that's when he's going to make you pay. He's going to make you pay really, really bad. And so the Bears and Sean Desai and this defensive coaching staff is going to have to find a way to slow down Dalvin Cook if they ever have a chance in winning this game. And so another thing I also wanted to talk about is the injury report. So far in the injury report, we have Xavier Crawford. He's been out with a concussion. He didn't practice on Thursday, and he didn't also practice on Friday. And Saturday, they're going to see about tomorrow, and he's questionable for game status. Marquise Goodwin, he's also dealing with the foot injury. He didn't practice on Thursday, and he didn't practice today on Friday. David Montgomery's kind of dealing with the illness. He didn't practice on Thursday, and he was a full participant on Friday. Jimmy Graham, of course, he's having non-related injury issues. Roquan Smith, he's kind of nursing that hamstring. He was limited at practice, and he was also limited today on Friday, and he's also a game time decision. I'm sure you guys know Justin Fields. He's dealing with that left hand. He's nursing a left hand injury. But either way, he's been a full participant. Akeem Hicks, it seems like he's going to be a full go on this Monday. So he's been a full participant for these past 2 days on Thursday and Friday. And then, of course, Jason Peters, the O-line, he also had that ankle injury. He didn't practice on Thursday, and he also didn't practice on Friday. Cole Kmet, he's dealing with the illness. He didn't practice on Thursday, and he was a full participant. Now, with the Minnesota Vikings, Eric Kendricks, he's dealing with a lower back injury. He didn't practice on Thursday, and he was a full participant on Friday. Adam Thielen, even though he didn't practice, he's expected to come back. Christian Darrisaw, one of their rookie left tackles, he's dealing with the ankle injury. He was limited yesterday and today and on Friday. Dalvin Cook pretty much was a pro participant, so he's definitely going to play. So yeah, guys, I kind of wanted to do a little bit of that. I wanted to do like a short um, main event podcast. So now onto the score predictions. I have the Bears winning against the Minnesota Vikings 24-21 because I don't know for some reason, but like for these past couple seasons, Matt Nagy has owned the Minnesota Vikings. And so like he's kind of always had his number against the Vikings, but at the same time, the Vikings have been playing well. But I think with the addition of Akeem Hicks coming back and also Roquan Smith, I know he's kind of dealing with that hamstring issue, but he's also going to play. I think with those two key guys in that lineup, I think they're going to slow down Dalvin Cook. And with Jalen Johnson, I think they're really going to mirror Justin Jefferson because the Bears, they're probably going to learn from their mistakes from that last game of not allowing Jalen Johnson to mirror Devontae Adams the whole entire game because you already know that you're already limited on the cornerback position. So I kind of have the Bears winning on the last second field goal with Cairo Santos. I think this is going to be a really, really competitive game. I think it's going to be pretty much competitive throughout the entire game, and it's going to come down to a last second field goal. At first, it's going to be a little bit of like a defensive battle because I think the past couple games, Minnesota's defense have been playing really well. Aside from that Lions game, they've been playing real well even without Danielle Hunter. But I feel like the Bears are really going to come out on top, and Justin Fields is going to help his team win this game because with everything that's been going on with the Chicago Bears and the coaching staff, it just seems like Justin Fields has been getting better and better. And it's like he's overcoming this coaching staff and their offensive schemes because it hasn't been working out too well. But it just seems like Justin Fields is starting to kind of read the defense a little bit more better. He's kind of starting to understand the different types of schemes that a lot of opposing teams are starting to run. But it's only a matter of time before this Chicago Bears coaching staff gets fired and George McCaskey finds a new person, a new general manager, a new president of operation, and eventually a new head coach to help in the development of Justin Fields. Because let's get this straight. At this point of the season, in the Bears' last 4 final games and going on from 2022 and beyond, the focus has to be Justin Fields. The focus has to be Justin Fields. From the defense to the offense, the main thing that this front office should do is surrounding their quarterback, their potential franchise quarterback, with the capable weapons to help him succeed and to become a franchise quarterback. I mean, if you look at years past, look at Phillip Rivers, franchise quarterback, won multiple division titles. But the thing is, he didn't have the best coaching staff and he didn't have the best front office. Now, if he did, he probably would have been to maybe 1 or 2 Super Bowls, a la Tom Brady, because he had to go through Tom Brady. But if he had a capable front office and a capable coaching staff, he probably would have gone to a Super Bowl. Hell, maybe even won one. Look at Dan Marino. Of course, Dan Marino, the guy's a Hall of Famer. The thing is, he had a freaking egotistical head coach and Don Shula, and in the front office, they weren't surrounding him with the talent to help him succeed, especially with the defense. He didn't have a really, really great defense. it's like he always had to carry the team, and it's like his defense was never great, and that's why he only went to that one Super Bowl, and he has many records with the Miami Dolphins. But like I said, George McCaskey, he has to do his homework. He has to find the right general manager. So with some of the general managers I've been looking at was Kansas City. They were looking at Kansas City's general manager, and then also with the Bills, the Buffalo Bills general manager, um, specifically with the Buffalo Bills general manager, they've also been looking at him. Um, I'm gonna look him up right now. General manager Brandon Bean. Um, he's really helped their quarterback Josh Allen. He's really helped him to become the player that he is, the MVP caliber, and help the Buffalo Bills become a playoff team for the past 4 or 5 years, because he surrounded Josh Allen with the capable talent. Also with the Kansas City general front office, they've been helping Patrick Mahomes, surround him with the talent of course, Travis Kelce, and also Tyreek Hill. And so the same thing with the Bears. They need to find somebody who knows their football, somebody who knows how to cater to Justin Fields' skill sets and to his strengths if they ever want to have a chance at competing for Super Bowls, competing for division titles, competing for conference championships, and being the Chicago Bears, being that respected franchise that people used to respect, in prior years, in the 80s, the 70s, 60s, prior years, prior um, to where they're at right now. And so, like I said, hopefully the Bears do win, but who knows, man? I'm just a Bears fan, guys. But anyway, guys, this is your boy Kofi with the Main Event Podcast, episode 24. Stay tuned for next week's episode. I'm going to probably do a post-game show after Monday night's game, so stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for more upcoming videos and short videos as I give you the latest NFL updates, stats, and also any other sports in regards to NBA and other sports. But anyway, guys, this is your boy, Kofi Hemming with KO Sports Talks with another episode with the Main Event Podcast. All right, guys, peace out. I'm out.